Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be across this beautiful blue-green globe of ours. Welcome to Real News Live. This is a special Friday news update. I am your host, Mike Barra, in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is kind of a quick update show. What I wanted to do is come in here and talk about what Jen's been posting today. Jen and I had a little conversation on the phone. She couldn't make it here. Unfortunately, she has some stuff going on at her house she has to take care of. But I'm going to try to fill in and sort of translate what she's saying. Look at what Phil Godlewski said last night on his show, which is apparently kind of significant, and comment on that and give you perspective on it. And also do a quick news update. I do have a little bit of news. I don't know how newsy it is, but it's a little bit of news on a Friday. So, meantime, I guess what I would say is don't forget to visit our wonderful sponsors, the CBD Gurus, over at the CBDgurus.com, where you can get all kinds of awesome CBD based products for your health. Go to the wholesale tab, slide down, hit Mike B Wholesale, type in the discount code ALIEN and get your discounts. Don't forget to go to MikeBarraPets.com, where you can get lots of wonderful mushroom based holistic treats for your doggies, your kitties, your horsies, and for yourself. Great line of products. Click on the shop now button. Take care of all that. Don't forget to pick up your hardware wallet for your crypto Ledger Nano S hardware wallet like I have. I got all my XRP and all my XLM on here. And if you pick it up, you get $10 of free Bitcoin and I get $10 of free Bitcoin. How can anybody complain about that? And especially do not forget to go visit the ACN family of companies and services that are available. There is a link in the description, and let me share real quick. Link in the description where you can pick up, again, lots of cool stuff. Especially, I think the most important is the impact health sharing, which is one we've talked about here quite a bit. Replacement for your health insurance at about 1/3 the cost, and it's a better service. And you can become an individual business owner as well and resell these products and get a little chunk out of it every time somebody signs up. You can save money on your gas, electricity, internet, mobile services. We got Flash Mobile, which is T-Mobile. We got AT&T deals. We got DirecTV. We got identity theft, which Zester is really up on, and a couple of internet services, Kinetic, Frontier, Ziply, and hopefully more stuff is coming soon. So replace screen sharing. Yeah. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to cancel that. We're just going to get out of the screen sharing and get on to the news. So let's just see who's here real quick while we give people a chance to get caught up. Ernest Rutland's here. CM is here. Sandy Maynard's here. Laura's here. Libby on the label is here. Drew's here. Laura still. Julie is here. Ray Richmond is here. Georgia is here. Hi, Georgia. Nice to meet you. I don't think I've seen you in here before. Rebecca Hill is here. Yeah, Puppy Whisperer is here. The Puppy Whisperer. Hi, hon. How are you? Ruben Darren is here. Hi, Mike. Welcoming the Truth Teller. Well, I do my best. I do my best. Love Trumpy is here. Marco is here. David Wade, Britt Baker, Chris Iverson, and Kathy Holland, all the way from Edmonton, Alberta. The Winnipeg Jets beat my Kraken last night. So fuck Canada is how I'm feeling right now. And Bill Church. How are we doing over on the Rumble side of the house? Let's go check it out. Let the Truth Be Known is over there. Debbie, Shaz, Angel Dowser. Jen, your comments about things in Kamala's past coming back out to bite her. Check out Candace Owens over the past 3 weeks. Yeah, but none of that is big enough to flip the election at this point that we're hoping for. Joanne Patton, Holly Opplinger is there, and Mama Bear 67 is there over on the Rumble side of the house. Okay, so what I'm going to do is give you a quick news update, just some things that I'm hearing today which are where where is my news breaking news? Okay, so this is what I got in terms of news. I have a friend who has an Iraqi contact. He's not my contact. He's my friend's contact. My friend is not a liar. My friend does not make stuff up. He talked to a guy in Iraq today. Normally, this guy always gives him the latest, the date, the time, the rate. Today, he would not give him a date, which my friend interprets as meaning it is so very close. Like today, tonight, tomorrow. Don't forget, Jen said they would like to do it on Friday. We've also seen and heard that they would like to do it overnight. So we wake up, it's Friday, it hasn't happened. Doesn't doesn't look good for it happening today, but you don't know. Friday is not over yet. The other thing she said or he said about his contact is that he was giddy, and he wouldn't say why he was so happy and giddy. He just said, "You'll see." My friend believes, and I agree with him, that that means the rate is far greater than we've been hearing, far greater than 341, 371, or even 391. It's going to be a lot bigger rate. And if it's a lot higher public rate, like, I don't know, 589, 429, 429, if it's higher than that, if it's higher there in the public, that means the behind the scenes rates at the redemption centers are going to be even higher than that. So that's really all the news I have. The bondholder still has not been paid and will not talk. Does it mean anything that he won't talk? No, I don't think it does. I think he has not been paid. So that's where we are with news and updates. And what I would like to do now is go over and share the information that came out on Phil's stream last night. Phil Godlewski did a stream. Um, it was, let's see if we can do this another way. Yeah, there we go. It was here. Let me turn off the banner. Okay, it was interesting stuff, and it's not something I 100% agree with, but let's go over it. What Phil said is that he has a contact at the Treasury. Okay. Um, I have a contact who has a contact who talks to the people at the top of the Treasury. The top. I don't believe Phil's contact is at the top. I don't think Phil's contact is as high up as my contact. So um, take that for what you will, but do not assume that Phil's contact is at the highest levels. So the information he gives uh, maybe what the people at his level believe to be true, but not necessarily completely true. So let's go over it. All right. We talked about NESARA last night. It's JASARA for other countries. They will have similar lists, but some will differ due to their various governments, etc. Um, okay. Number one, he said credit card debt will be canceled. It will be zeroed out. Okay. Which I'm getting ready to pay off a bunch of my credit card debt, but I kind of want to do that. I'm kind of not going to wait because we don't have an RV yet. Previously paid credit card interest will be returned. All open lines of credit will be permanently closed. Other examples included in this are personal loans, car loans, and student loans. Now, close, does that imply that like my car loan will be closed? Does that mean that they just give me the car? I own the car now. Okay. Credit card debt being canceled, zeroed out. It's fine with me. Everybody resets. Previously paid credit card interest will not be returned. I don't quite buy that one for reasons we'll get into in a little bit. Anyway, there will be a new process opened with different terms, and it will not go to the same people. So it seems to be implying there that, oh, your old car loan will go away, but you'll have a new car loan, which will be on presumably better terms. then right? I own it. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about that. Number 4, IRS income tax, property tax, income tax will be ceased permanently. Trump has already talked about this. He says we can live off of tariffs and a sales tax. We don't need an income tax. That's going to go away. I believe that's true. It is part of NESARA. IRS will be abolished permanently. We've heard this for years. They are not abolished yet, but supposedly they will be. Why? Because the IRS is actually a Puerto Rican corporation whose job it is to collect the debts owed to the British Crown and the Rothschilds Bank of France, among others, the European creditors of the United States. 6, past income tax paid is collectible by the payee. There is no age limit. What does that mean? That means you're going to have to go back through your old tax records. It sounds like it's collectible if you ask for it. So you're going to apparently have to go back and fill out some paperwork and saying, hey, I paid all this in income tax. I want it all back. For many people, that will be millions. Past property tax is not collectible by the payee, meaning your property tax is going to stand, although property tax is just as immoral and illegal as income tax. So that one doesn't make a lot of sense to me, but this is what Phil's hearing. Current debt collections will cease permanently. Bunch of lawyers and judges are going to be out of business, and I can't be happier about that. U.S. Treasury will remain and take over the roles of previous IRS agents. No jobs lost. Well, there's 87,000 jobs that Joe Biden hired, guys that I want to lose their jobs. So get rid of those people. The new government, the Republic, will collect a 14% national sales tax. Okay. Sale taxes will be on new and non-essential items only. You buy a brand new home, car, purse, etc., you'll pay a 14% in sales tax. How is a home not an essential item? How's a car not an essential item? I don't think those two things fit. So that's something we'll have to talk about a little bit. If you buy a used home, used car, etc., i.e., a 2024 car in 2025, there's no flat tax. There's no tax on that. There's no sales tax. Used car sales are going to go through the roof. So, oh, you want to buy a new car? No, I really don't want to pay the extra 14%. The tax will be paid 100% to the country's welfare, i.e., military, infrastructure, education, etc. Environmental cleanup, getting the fluoride out of the water. That makes sense because right now, as I said, it goes offshore to the European creditors of the United States, which has been in bankruptcy, international bankruptcy, since 1789 in constant 70-year cycles. 1789, 1859, 1929, 1999. Look at the major events that have happened in U.S. history in those years or immediately after. Those events were because of the discharge of the national debt of the United States corporation. Mortgages reduces all current mortgage debt by the amount of interest paid into the payee's lifetime contributions to the interest on mortgages only. All current mortgage debt will be reduced by the amount of interest paid into the payee's lifetime contributions. In other words, if you have paid $470,000 on mortgages only in interest over the last 30 years of your life, and you currently have a $325,000 mortgage, that will zero out and it's paid off. If the interest paid over the lifetime of the payee's mortgage history exceeds the amount of the current mortgage, the mortgage will be zeroed out and any additional interest will be returned to the payee. So let's take my example. You paid $450,000. Currently have a $350,000 mortgage. So I go look back all your interest. Okay, that $350,000 mortgage is paid off, and here's $100,000 because you overpaid. Um, any payee currently without a mortgage, but that has paid interest on a mortgage in the past, all interest will be returned to the payee. This excludes homes purchased with cash, as you didn't pay any interest on the home. So Phil is repeating a thing he has said before, that only the mortgage interest is going to be paid. Credit card debt will be zeroed out, and you will not get anything back for the credit card interest. Now these are interesting. Let's talk about this. If you guys follow me, if you listen to me, you understand what a mortgage really is, where the money really comes from. It's not the bank's money, it's not the Treasury's money, it's not the IRS's money. It's your money. It's your birthright money, based on the birth certificate bond financial instrument that was created the moment you were born and your parents signed off. So, what they do is, when you buy a house for $325,000 and you apply for a mortgage, and they hold a gun to your head and you have to give them $15,000 down or something, or 25 or whatever it is. They then take that application to the Federal Reserve window, where they look at it, and it's actually a whole bunch of applications stacked up, and they look at it and they say, okay, Barra, let's type in here, Barra. Ooh, how did I do that? Let's type in this. Oh yeah, Barra. Oh, okay. So he's worth, as I previously established, $11 billion times the 10 Federal Reserve districts in the United States. I have an account under my name and my little red number on the back of my Social Security card at all 10 Federal Reserve banks districts. See, San Francisco. Okay. How much does he have left? Okay, he's got 9,435,000,000 left that we haven't stolen out of his account. Okay, he can afford 325,000. Here's the 325,000, and then here's 10 times that amount, Mr. Bank, that you can now loan out for other purposes. That's how it works. You paid for everything. This house is mine. That's why on the paperwork on my mortgage, sitting right down there in my box, it declares me as the homeowner. And it says that I have agreed to give an interest to the bank in property that I already own. So, why is that important? I'll tell you why. It's important because they don't want to expose that system. They can replace the old fiat currency system based on the birth certificate bond, which makes me and you and every single one of us into a commodity that's bought and sold. When the government prints money, they don't just print it out of air. They print it off my and yours and everybody else's birth certificate bonds out of our accounts in the Federal Reserve. That's why if you look at the serial numbers on the money, they will actually have a little letter. Might have some other letters before that, but it'll be the last letter and the next 9 digits. That's a real account that is in red on the back of somebody's Social Security card. It's true. Because they printed it out of your account without your permission or acknowledgement. Now, they may claim that because you once signed a federal tax return, that was you giving your permission for them to print money out of your account and take your money for their use. But they defrauded you and they lied to you about it. So this system cannot be exposed. Why can it not be exposed? Because if they do, then everybody's going to go, wait a minute. You said I'm worth $11 billion 10 times over? Yeah, Mr. Barra, that's what it says here. If you look up the mutual fund of your birth year, 1970, it says everybody in 1970 is worth $1.5467 billion, 10 times over. And everybody's going to go, so you've been ripping me off my entire life, convincing me that the money that was mine came from somebody else and I owed them to pay it back. I want my money. And then every single American will be worth hundreds of billions of dollars. Inflation will go through the roof, everything will collapse. They cannot do that. So the only way that they can pay you back for what have you have been defrauded out of is this way. So it makes sense to me that they're going to refuse to pay back the principal. They're only going to pay the interest because they can show you in the new system that the interest is absolutely fraudulent. And it goes against God's laws of no usury. So that makes a certain amount of sense that they're only going to pay the interest back on the mortgages. Because if they paid you the principal, which they should, they will then have to deal with the uncomfortable question of, well, if I'm getting paid back on this $350,000 house, doesn't that mean it's my money in the first place, not yours? See, they don't want those questions asked because they then have a problem on their hands. And they have a system where there are people that have more than others. I suspect because it encourages productivity as opposed to sitting around playing video games all day and smoking crack and a lot of the stuff that the younger generations do. So this actually fits, but the truth is they owe you the principal. I just think there's no way for them to pay you the principal back without exposing the scam. So they're still going to try to convince you that when you borrow money to buy a house, that you're borrowing from somebody else and you have to pay it back. You just don't have to pay interest on it anymore. That's their new better system. And it is a better system, but it's still not right. It's still not fair. Um so that this makes sense as something that they would likely do under the new system. Okay. Save your questions on that for later. So Jen then came in on this and said thoughts over coffee this morning. I did say long ago that they would not call it NESARA and that they changed it a bit. I don't see how credit card balances are wiped and mortgage balances are not. Jasara says that all debts are wiped. If we change to a new currency, how do you pay a mortgage financial agreement in notes when it was written and agreed upon to pay back in dollars? It makes more sense that any contract written in dollars is void. This is a valid viewpoint by Jen. It sounds like they're not going to go for that. They're not going to go for that. So, what's the difference between a credit card balance and a mortgage balance? I think the difference is in their way of thinking, and I'm not saying I agree with this, is that a credit card debt is it's not real property. Okay, it's credit. Now, under the new law, the Gold Act of 1933, you're allowed to create unlimited credit. They don't want you to know that because then you're entitled to be paid back for that under the 1099 OID process, which they don't want you to know about. So the end result is that the difference is that with a mortgage, it's a secured piece of property. So that's why I think they will pay back. They will wipe the credit card balances because it's vapor. It's not, it's just, oh, okay. Take this, take this piece of paper or this card and go spend $5,000 on it. And okay, we're just going to wipe that clean because it's vapor. It's not real. A house is a different thing. And they have to maintain real estate and real property as an illusion in the new system, at least for a while. If you change anything in a contract or mortgage, like a refinance, you have to draw up a new contract and sign that. If dollars no longer exist, then that financial contract is void. This also makes sense. By calling the new money something other than dollars, like notes or TRNs or treasury notes or something, you can effectively void any contract. We'll see. The only loophole that I see in mortgage principal is that it is included in your birthright trust total. If Phil's contact is from the Treasury, then they would only be working on refunds of fraudulent interest or know about that. Exactly, because they don't want the rank and file average member, even upper middle management of the Treasury, who I suspect is Phil's contact. They don't want him to know how the system is rigged, has been rigged. Because if they know that, they're going to say, you mean I couldn't afford a life-saving surgery for my mother? They told me I couldn't afford it and my insurance wouldn't cover it. But I had $120 billion waiting for me at the Federal Reserve that you wouldn't let me access. Okay, here's the guillotine. That's what would happen. And they don't want that. It's possible, she's saying here, that the mortgage principal will be repaid through the birthright trust total. But I think there would have to be some accounting for that. Mr. Barra, here's $4.7 million. How did we come to that number? Well, that's the total value of all the mortgages you've ever taken out in your life. Actually, it's way higher than that, but let's pretend. Let's pretend it's 500,000. I had my first house was like $67,000. I had a mortgage for 67. Plus I paid interest on it. So Treasury will pay you back the interest, but then you'll get the birthright payments. Jen's talked about that. They show up with a check at your house. That valuation will probably be based on the purchase price of the home. So it is possible. It is absolutely possible that you will get paid back the principal through another method that will be somewhat disguised. Okay. The principal would be in your trust because that is money that you created by signing the contract. If that's true, then it never had to be paid back. I say all debts are canceled and the interest is refunded because that is not included in the trust. So you have one side of the house paying you back the interest because it was not the principal. And then you have the principal paid back through another method, another division. The creation of money and the ability of the financial institutions to use that note to get more money is because of the creation of the Federal Reserve and the fiat money system of debt. Absolutely correct. Jen's becoming this smart little economist. If you sign a note for a purchase of 100,000, then the financial institution can go to the Fed and get 10 times that amount to loan out. They make money off your signature. All correct. If there is no more Fed and no more fiat money, there is no more debt. The interest would be considered fines and penalties and refunded to you as a settlement in whatever currency that is used. I'm going to assume the new currency. This is all correct. Treasury then, yeah. Okay, yeah. Can you pay your debts now in gold? No, you have to convert the gold into dollars and then pay it. Because the agreement to pay back the debt is written in dollars, if there are no more dollars, then you cannot pay that back. That's correct. Contract's void. Fraud. Sorry. That's why they are going to gold and changing the name of our currency. The other thing this will do is when you buy property with gold-backed currency, you should qualify for alloidial title. That means the property that you own, that you buy, you have a alloidial title. That means no one can take it from you unless you voluntarily sell it. They cannot tax you out of it. They cannot place a foreclosure on it. See, this is why they went to the fiat currency system and got rid of the gold in the 1930s, was so they could repossess houses and cars and everything else. You have to convert it in dollars. Why? Because the agreement to pay back the debt is written in dollars. If there are no more dollars, then you cannot pay that back. That's why they're going to gold and changing the name of our currency to notes or whatever they're going to call it. It's also why the world has to pull back the instruments of debt and old currencies into the countries of origin. They then pay you what that currency is now worth because that piece of paper is a debt, and they need to pay you to move into a new currency system. I'm going to have the word system there. The same is true for all laws written in dollars. That is why there will be new laws and new taxes under NESARA. You know what that means? That means the last US government budget that gave money to CIA, FBI, NASA, whoever, suddenly become worthless. Those agencies have no funding. And if Trump doesn't want to refund them, they don't get any funding. They cease to exist. They have no money. Long ago, we talked about two NESARA lists of rules circulating. One is called the National Economic Security and Reformation Act. I believe the true NESARA is called the National Economic Security and Recovery Act. The word recovery is the important part. That is where you recover the funds from, the refund. That's where the refunds come from, to recover your losses. So I believe the first NESARA will be the National Economic Security and Recovery Act, which is where they will pay us our birthright, pay us back all the fraudulent taxes and interest that we've paid in our lifetimes. Clear out our debts. Then will come the National Economic Security and Reformation Act, where they will introduce the new system, the new currency, that everything is gold back, a loyal title, all that stuff. So it almost is like we have two different NESARAs. The Recovery Act goes first, and the Reformation Act goes second. No one really knows until the day it's announced. I am not saying what Phil put out is not true. I'm just walking through it and coming to my own conclusions. Don't assume what I am saying he is putting out false info or is wrong. I would not do that. So that, folks, is where we're at. We're up to date. All right, let's go through and look at questions and take a few before we get on with our Friday and get on to the really important stuff, like are the Seahawks going to win this weekend? All right. Let's go through over here on the Rumble side. I'm going to pop the chat out and then I'm going to share it. All right. Let's go to the very top here. Feels like your intro is in spooky mode. Okay, I don't know what happened with the intro. Jen, your comments about things in Kamal's past. Yeah, we talked about that. Mike, I got the link from Jen's room, but didn't see one in yours. Well, I put it in there. Rumble, they posted Bruce's call. Okay. I was on Rumble as I am every morning. It was just there. Everyone was expecting to see or hear something today. Now we're hearing Bob expecting payment next week. We've been approaching the runway forever. Are we ever going to land? Holly, I don't blame you for not being happy about that. I don't blame you. Marengo says, hi, Mike. Where is Marengo? Hi, Mike. Looking forward to seeing you and Jen in Vegas, hopefully real soon. Thank you for all you do. You're welcome. Nbar says, no, Mike, they already know exactly how much we've paid. We don't need to come up with a number. Yeah, I know we don't. They know. But when you look at the number, when they give you your check, it will definitely be a number that is consistent with if you go back and look at your mortgages. The UK sales tax is only supposed to be on new luxury items, but they push it as far as they can. Yep, they will. Phil clarified some of those points last night in regard to new non-essential items. That's good. They are considered essential. Second cars or homes may be taxed. Used cars are not taxed. So if you're going to buy a second car, buy a used car. It's yours only. Pay your property taxes. If you don't pay the property taxes, they can take your house. That will go away with a loyal title. Also, they shouldn't be able to tax your property at all. Okay, bond certificate stuff. When loan companies sell your loan to another loan company, legally the loan has been paid off, but no, we have to keep paying on it. Actually, we don't. But most of us do. Most of us do. You should fight that. Um, so the original birthright money comes from the Sesquiu Act of 1666. They assume us dead and at sea and claim us as custodians until we come and claim it. Something like that. Yeah. This means the banksters cannot keep selling our house over and over again with nobody ever really owning it. Yes. Victoria Adams, what do you believe will happen if you lost your home in a foreclosure or short sale in the subprime mortgage crisis? I think you're going to get paid back for that. Some Project 8, Mike, do you think we've got the EBS coming today this weekend? No, I don't believe that's ready. I think Jen said after Trump assumes power or after the election when they try to stop him. Jammer says, I like how you don't hold back as other people do, saying they don't want to get people in trouble. Names not mentioned or locations. Can't get anyone in trouble or prove it was that person's info. Yeah, okay. Thanks for the update, Mike. How's your tooth? My tooth feels fine. Actually, one of the teeth on my other side hurts a little bit more than that because it's a little bit sore. Tooth feels fine. I'm just got to scrape together the $2,000 to go get the work done and have a new cap put in. Some projects is I'll be seeing you in Vegas as well. Wait for a good time. Yeah, I hope it's going to be a good time. I think so. Okay, let's pop over here to YouTube, take a few questions, and then we will zip on out of here. Not much is happening, dude. Mike, thanks for the Friday update. Can't wait for the RV and the chaos to settle as we can visit and party a little in Vegas with you. Yeah, that may take into early next year. We just don't know. I did post the link in my Telegram chat, did I not? You know what? I actually didn't. I think I did not. Let me go over here and check it. Shit, no, I didn't. Oh well. Here, let me do that now. Let me do that now while I've got you here. I'll share, copy, and I did screw that up. All right. Back over. Mark is hearing EBS as soon as this afternoon. Any word? I heard Mark said that. I do not know anything about that, but I am prepared, as you should all be. Corgi Mom and Chris working on some issues. Chris says, yes, on the car loan, your current car loan will be canceled. Good. I'm now the proud owner of a brand new 2023 Volkswagen Taos, year old. Hey guys, I just thought I'd come in. Yeah, Trump said all about the no taxes at the barbershop interview. Yep. The home and car are essential. First home and first car are exempt. Yeah, farm truck is essential for the farm business, so that should probably be exempt. Am I an American national or you? I am a U.S. citizen. I am a U.S. citizen. I have been since birth. So, and I have no other allegiances except to my country. Houses and cars are not essential items. In my America, they are, buddy. Okay. All right. Some discussions about the chat on Telegram. So much to do. That's why I haven't been chatting much. I'm actually having things to do now, which is good. Yes, that is good. Yeah, we don't talk about the straw man thing, but it's that stuff's all correct. That stuff is all correct. I tried using my account once. It worked until they figured it out and reversed all my transactions. They tried to do that to me, but the card disappeared off my credit report. So in other words, they said, well, you still owe us this money. And I said, oh, I already paid you. And then it just disappeared off my credit report. So where do you look up the birth year Federal Reserve amounts? You can't do that anymore. There might be a place you can do it. What I did was on Fidelity Investments. I used to have a mutual fund finder, and I typed in my birth year. Clack, clack, clack. 1970, 1980, 1960, whatever your birth year is. Type it in. I typed it in, came up. The mutual fund, 1970 is worth $11.148 billion. See what they're doing. The 401k rules where you borrow your own money and pay it back was probably designed after the Federal Reserve loan process. Well, yeah, but this is the way it will work. You'll have X amount in your trust, and you will pay yourself back, maybe even with interest, 1% or something, into your own trust. That's the way the system should work. Hi, Kathy from X. How are you? She's over on the X side of the house. I got X chat in here. Jules in Maryland is also on the X side. Hi, how you doing? I just over 61 years old and I can't get a job. 45 years of hard labor and an illegal immigrant qualifies. I hear you, buddy. Credit card debt can be eliminated as an accounting journal entry. That is correct. From the debit to the credit side or credit to the debit side. I forget exactly how it works. Can't do that with real property. So that's one of the differences too. Are we rich yet, Craig? No, we are not, but we are working on it. We are working on it. Black Monday was 95 years ago on October 29th, 1929. Could markets crash on the anniversary this year? And according to Q Drops, Hillary was to be arrested at the end of October. Well, we got about 6 days left for Hillary to be publicly arrested and for Q to be right 8 years later or whatever it is. I still have to work on my disdain and anger towards banksters. No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't have to. We don't have to like them. We don't have to be nice to them. We don't have to tolerate them. After listening to Aaron Russo, it seems that many of the reparation monies coming back to everyone will be from the banking system. I don't know who Aaron Russo is. Mike, you were saying something about deceased loved ones. I want to say straw man accounts, any speculation on how that would be redeemed. I don't know if it can be. This is all based on a living, breathing human being. And I don't know if you can get your dad's debts back. I don't know if you can. It's possible. Um, it's possible you could sue if you can argue that the fraudulent banking system drove your brother, your sister, your mother to suicide or to an early grave. Prove it in a civil court of law, you might be able to get something out of it. And I recommend we try that. Mike, what model Ferrari will you get after the RV? I'm a fan of the Superfast. I don't even know the current models. The last real model I was really into was the Enzo. And that's archaic technology by now. But I do have a friend. Who knows a guy who has a Ferrari dealership in a certain Midwestern town known for the automotive industry. I will be going through and looking at that. Yeah, no on the EBS updates. Some of the chat repeating, or am I flying up and down? I know a guy who said he supposedly paid off his student loans with that Birthright account. Yeah, anything that's like a government loan, you should be able to use the Birthright account stuff. Hi, Regina, how are you? Hope you're feeling better today. So tired of kicking all the down the road. Yeah, nobody knew I was doing an update until 10:30 when I knew it. I just, with all the information that filled out and Jen put out, and then my little bit of news, I thought I would come on. Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you for being here. As always, like and subscribe over on the Rumble side of the house. It's $5 a month. It really helps the channel. You can also give us Rumble rants over there. There's links in the description to Zelle and Cash App if you want to contribute to the show. Believe me, Jen and I do appreciate it. And we both do still need it because we're not rich yet. We're just slogging through like everybody else. So if you appreciate the shows, I appreciate you doing that. Or get something out of it for yourself. Go to MikeBarrettPets.com. Go to the CBDGurus.com. Pick up a Ledger Nano S wallet. Sign up for ACN Healthcare. Any of the other ACN family of products and services. They're all kick-ass. Our sponsors, Miles Franklin for gold and silver. If you're going to buy gold and silver, go to Miles Franklin and our friend Andy Scheckman. Take care of all that stuff. Wow, that was way longer. I was thinking I'm going to do 15 minutes. We ended up doing almost 45 minutes. I thank you guys. I love you and appreciate you. Go Hawks on Sunday. Have a great weekend. We will see how this next week continues to develop. I think we go back over the news, which I got from an Iraq contact, is quote giddy, and I believe he's giddy over the rate that you're going to get for the dinar. And he would not give a date, even though he always gives dates. He didn't give one this time, which I think means we're really close. So let's hope that's true. All right, hang in there. Have a great weekend. Love you all. Don't go to the Chicago Brew Pub. Jim and Regina, let me just tell you, uh, BJ's has better beer, and frankly, Thursday nights with Jim and Regina with Regina's Pizza are better than the place we went to, except that there's no girls there except you, Regina, and Lucy the corgi, who's adorable. All right, that's gonna wrap it up. Thank you guys for being here, and Jen and I'll see you on Monday. Hopefully, we'll have a lot more to talk about. Bye bye.